Alright guys, I'm going to do a quick demonstration on how to use the press tools. These are the Scale Engineering press tools. You can use Scale Engineering, Lucky Bob's. This process is going to apply to pretty much any of them. So we have our gear adapter in here. That's where I like to start first. I like to take gear and an axle and press them on. The Scale Engineering has a screw inside so that you can set your depth. I always start to press it on, press it through just a little bit. You want to make sure there's no burr sticking out the backside. Sometimes there's a burr there. You can eliminate that by chamfering both sides of the gear or polishing the ends of the axle. So since there's no burr, we'll go ahead, move it the rest of the way forward. I have my stop set already for this setup, and that's step one. So now we have our axle on our gear. You can go ahead and fit this in the car and make sure that it fits properly. You want the same amount of axle sticking out both sides. Next step I'll do, since this axle assembly is going to be using our T-Boss, is I will go ahead and this hub is made for the T-Boss. I mean, I guess we could do one for you if it was special requested, but you go down, just touch it on the gear, and when you get to this point, you can take your pinion or pop it in the car, make sure that you have adequate play. And if you need to put a spacer between the gear and the T-Boss, you can do that. We do that on our Dragmaster setups that use a 22 tooth crown. We also use an 8-tooth pinion, so it requires us to put a 14,000 spacer between the T-Boss and the gear. So our next step, we're going to use our rim mandrel, or post. I believe Scale Engineering calls this a post. It fits our rim so that the rim can't move around in a circular motion, so that it keeps everything in line, on center. I'll go ahead and just put a little bit of pressure, and I always spin everything, make sure that everything is in line, that's not going to be pressed on crooked. And for our rims on our axles and pretty much all of the Viper parts, I have it set up to where if you do 4 full turns, it gets you exactly where you need to be. The rim and the axle are flush inside of there, and it's designed to be put together that way. Makes assembly for us much easier. Same thing goes on this side. Spin everything, make sure that it's all perfect. And now this one, you would also go 4, but just for video's sake, I'm going to go 5. So let's see, we're too far now. So now I'm going to use the puller, okay, and I'm going to make sure that it's all centered up. You want to make sure that the pin is pressing on the axle and not anywhere else. And then you can do it even on the car too. So if you had to pull the rim away from the magnet, you can actually sneak this guy in on the chassis with it all assembled and pull it out to the desired length. But that's a complete rear axle setup. One thing I didn't mention that I went ahead and used was this cap. This cap is the exact size of our rim, so that when we're pressing on this side of the press, we can use that. I'm not sure if they come with these stock, but they can be purchased. There's all different sizes for all of the different rims available, but for the most part, that's kind of a raw way of raw video of how to assemble a rear axle setup. Thanks.